on my Facebook wall. I've got SRCs on. They said they're live now, so they say no.
Oh, hey, everybody. Sorry. Thanks so much for hanging in there tonight. So the show is starting, and tonight I'm really excited to bring you the house at the end of this drive. And the house that we're going to be in tonight is David Oman's haunted house. And I have on Skype with me, I have Tara. Hi, Tara. Thanks for joining me tonight. Would you give the viewers a little information about yourself, please, before we start the show?
Yes, hello. My name's Tara Mead. I'm with Pacific Coast Paranormal, and I'm a scrying medium. I am here this evening to celebrate the 45th anniversary, which was on a Friday night of the Tate murders, and all of the victims. We're trying to get in touch with them and connect on both sides. Everyone has something to say, and we'd like to see this year how the activity is, and we're very close to being there.
Right. Now tonight is actually the 45th year anniversary of this horrific Manson massacre of the Sharon Tate murders. And not only was she killed, but there were 4 others that were killed as well. And these were the other victims.
Right. When I say celebration, I don't mean it's a happy thing, but to me, it is a wonderful thing to be able to talk, to be open to hearing their side, our side, if anyone has something to say, because truly there are messages each year that are passed on here.
Right. Now, I'll also be interviewing David Oman and also Mark Nelson. I believe Mark has been at the house several times.
Yes, Mark has been here for many years, has experienced quite a bit, which he'll tell you about. I have photos I was taking of him where there's spirits all around him every time. And when connecting, it's a beautiful thing because he's right on. I tend to validate him with photos. But to watch him in action is amazing because he's so strong and he puts out there, and he's the best psychic. So if you are interested in meeting him, he is here. I'd like to interview him if you are ready.
Oh, sure. We'll bring on Mark Nelson now.
Hello.
Hello, this is Mark Nelson,
Hi,
Mark
Tara.
Christopher Nelson. And would you like to tell us about any of your experiences here at the
Sure.
home?
Well, my wife Barbara and I have been up here many times, and so we've had everything from Barbara walking in the hallway and having the lights turn off and on her. We've been up here with a TV crew, and it was like the first time I was here, and I really felt in a strong way that Sharon was in the room. It was in David's current bedroom, and I told the camera, I told Sharon, what I believe was there, to say, Sharon, if you're here, can you, and I was struggling for a minute, mess with the camera that was on me, and the camera turned off immediately. So that was kind of jarring and interesting. It was really kind of like, okay, and then the cameraman said, well, would you please don't ask them to do that anymore. Okay, I won't, and then another time, this is something, we had a clip on the same shoot where I really picked up Jay Sebring being with us. And so I heard him say, I had big plans. I had big plans. And so when we played back the recording of me saying that, we got an EVP. So, and I think it was like right before I said it, you heard this other voice saying, I had big plans. And that's what I heard. And so it was really an excellent validation as to what was there. And then also to some of the things that we've seen here, like some of the light anomalies were just like off the charts for me, where there's twirls of light coming off. There's like balls of energy up in David's living room, where you're seeing what it looks like almost like an explosion of energy shooting off of like a single place. There's that one shot where you can see, it almost appears that someone is materializing because you see legs, and then you see all of this energy going out in different directions. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fun. My wife Barbara has had some experiences. You want to talk about some of your stuff too? We go and do everything pretty much together.
Welcome, Barbara Nelson.
Hi, I'm Barb Nelson, paranormal investigator and psychic sensitive. I've been to this house many, many times with Mark and Tara, And I think one of the most active times I can remember, we were shooting a segment with a group called Arrow in the Head.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
And we were here briefly up in David's room. We were all standing around, and we kept hearing above us, on the floor above us, people walking around back and forth. And, there weren't any animals up there. There were no dogs, no cats. We went up there to see if anybody was up there. No one was there. And so that was very interesting. Another time, Dave and I were in his room, his bedroom, and we just looked at each other. We heard a whisper of a woman's voice. I couldn't make out what she said, but we both heard it. We caught it on the camera, and it was a disembodied voice. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and then we've had experiences down here in the basement area. There's a separate room that has a bathroom, and we've had experiences in that bathroom with spirit that have set off our K2 meter on cue. We'd ask questions, the lights would go on, and
Barb,
so
one of my favorite things is when you were walking in the hallway.
Oh yeah, I was coming down the stairs to the second floor, and the lights were on, and then the lights went off, and then they went back on, and then they went back off again. And David was in the other room, and he was looking out at it, and he goes, "Is someone out there messing with the lights?" And I go, "No, I thought you were turning them off, It
was just so like lights on, lights off, lights on. It was just like, okay, they're totally messing with us.
It did it like 3 times. So that was very interesting too. That hallway is very active.
Now I know that the land up there was active with ancient American Indians. Are you also picking up any American Indian spirits in your investigations there?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, it does feel like, you know what it is we're in Beverly Hills, but if you scratch the surface, there's just kind of like wild animals, and there's open hills, and so we're right at the edge of like civilization almost in some ways. It's beautiful, land of the wealthy and the rich and beautiful and all of that, but you can see nature right there hasn't gone away, hasn't changed since forever. And to me, when I look around, I do feel that there's Native American energy. It's a beautiful place to live here in 2014. It was probably also a beautiful place to live in 814. It was temperate climate, wonderful climate. Native Americans, I'm sure, were drawn here, and their energy is there still.
Well,
and,
yeah, they said that whole area, Benedict Canyon, was very sacred to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can understand why. I mean, it has just natural beauty, which probably caught their attention. But I also think that there are anomalies, I think, that are reported in terms of the makeup of the soil below this house. And I think that kind of, I forget what makes it so unique, but I tell you, when you come here, it just seems like this house amplifies a lot of things. And I would say that the energy below the bedrock is a granite part.
Granite or
limestone, granite.
Limestone. Yeah, the limestone seems to be associated with some pretty interesting activity.
Heavy energy, conducts great deal of energy.
It's a geomagnetic. There's a geomagnetic, very strong field there.
Also, too, they're right out in the canyon here, right outside David's house. There was actually a Indian and Spanish battle that went on. So there were a lot. It was like a massacre. So there were a lot of people on the Indian side and the Spanish side that had died in this canyon. So this goes back, early history of California. So there's a lot going on in this entire area of Benedict Canyon.
Yeah. So now, what as far as pictures, have you been able to get any really good Class A pictures of spirit in the house?
I have. I have quite a few of those. In particular, last time I was here, we had one crew in one room, my crew in the other, and we were both dealing with a young girl who appeared to have drowned. I couldn't figure out where because the beach is quite away, but she could have perhaps rode her horse down there. But in this particular photograph, I have a young girl. I have either her sister or mother. I have a horse. You can see the muscles in its neck. You can see the full front body of this animal that I assume, was their pet. But down the road, I did find out there's a well on the property. So perhaps years ago, she could have drowned there. Could have been a stream, river, I don't know. But the photograph is very clear. You can really see these people. You can see short black hair. They have a band across the head, both the mother, sister, and or whomever that would be. But the activity is amazing because that evening we both did verify. We were talking about a little girl in 2 separate bedrooms, an Indian girl, I believe to be Chumbash.
Awesome. Now, where are you now? Are you in the basement right now?
We're on the 3rd floor,
which is the basement, I guess.
Yes, we're
more of a trophy room. It's amazing. David is a collector of sports memorabilia and got a lot in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're going to conduct the seance this evening, which shouldn't be that long down the road here because he's upstairs. David is upstairs giving his tour, and then when that works out, we're going to start this and have several people together, in which you can see that I can leave the camera rolling. So we're looking for some activity.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh, I didn't know we were going to be able to sit in on a seance.
There'll be some chatter and people walking around, so I'm not sure how the volume and the video or the audio will be, but we'll have someone standing by, and we'll also be here doing our thing. You can watch the whole thing if you like. We can leave the feed running live. It should be very interesting to catch that. We're very lucky to be here this evening.
Yeah, so will the cameras be on the group of people that will be involved in the seance then?
If we step back, I'll show you. Can you see the table there at all?
No, it's really dark.
About right here.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I'm not sure the audio will pick up that far away, though.
Perhaps we can move that. We can bring up a table.
Okay.
And
Or can you move the table closer?
We could.
Yes, I do believe we can do that.
That would be better. You know, when David gets a chance, I'd like him to come on camera. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Okay. What I want to do is I want to tell the viewers a little information about Benedict Canyon. If you guys want to just stand there or take a little break or come back, I just want to go over my notes with the viewers, and I want to show them some pictures so I can show them the house that Sharon Tate was at, and David's house in proximity to where the original house was before they tore it down. So I just want to go over that with my viewers to give them some information, okay?
It's just walk right down the driveway, right there. Wonderful place, beautiful home. Heavily active.
Okay,
so
so
I'll go ahead and get David for you while you do that. I believe I did send you some photos. Hopefully you got them. I did send one of the little girl, Indian girl. So I'm hoping you did receive that because of the way that I had taken it. There are other people with me, and I can take these photos on camera as we go. So I will try to do that as well. So if I'm taking a photo, I see something in it, I will stop and show you.
Yeah, if you are doing any EVP work as well, if you think you caught anything, we'd love to hear them live.
Okay. We'll do that
right.
because we always do the replay after a bit. Yes.
All right, so just let me talk to the viewers for a minute and then maybe come back.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get David.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
All right, okay. Now, Benedict Canyon. This is the canyon. And Benedict Canyon is one of the most haunted locations in Los Angeles. And the ancient Native Americans that inhabited this area, they considered it to be extremely sacred. Scores of people living in this area actually are continuing to report hauntings. Several tragedies took place in this area as well. A couple of those tragedies happened in the house of J. Sebring. He also lived on this in this area. Now, he was also a former fiance of Sharon Tate. Now, this is a picture of Sharon. This was the property that Sharon Tate and her husband, Roman Polanski, were renting. This actually home belonged to somebody else, but they were renting this house. And now J. Sebring, he lived on Eastern Drive that wasn't very far from this house. And the house, now that house that he had purchased on Eastern Drive belonged to Jean Harlow. And Jean Harlow's husband, Paul Byrne, he committed suicide. Now, Sharon had a well-publicized vision of seeing a person tied with a rope with their throat thrashed. It also reported that a total of 3 people committed suicide in J. Sebring's home. Now, George Reeves also owned a home up in Benedict Canyon. And for some of you may know, he was the original Superman in the 1950s. And he committed suicide in his house in 1959. And they say that his ghost appears in full Superman costume, and he walks the floors of his house. And it's also been reported that there's an unusual high number of suicides in this area. Sharon Tate and J. Sebring both believed in the paranormal. Now, at the time of those Sharon Tate murders, it was reported that Roman Polanski was cursed because of his involvement in the movie Rosemary's Baby. Now, I want to show you. Now, I have a little arrow there that shows David's house, and then the X off to the side, you can see that's the original site of Sharon Tate's murder house. And this is David's house today. It's off the canyon. And I believe... And then also, this is a movie that David Oman produced and has written for a CD. And it is, I believe they did show it on TV, and it is for sale, for purchase. And I will be talking, and this is David Oman. This is the home. David has these live events, but tonight is the last one. So we're really privileged to be here tonight in David's home. Okay, so now I'm just waiting. Oh, there's Tara. Tara! Tara!
I'm coming.
Okay.
David's still running his tour at the moment,
Okay.
so he'll be just a few years.
All right.
He's busy just for a little bit more. He's just upstairs. He's got about 20 some odd people up there.
Okay, is there anything else? Now, how long have you been investigating David's home?
Oh, 6 years easily.
6 years.
And birthday parties, and we've become friends. So just coming over here, not just for communicating, but just for birthday parties or gatherings for barbecues. It's nice to come over because even though it's not, you're not focusing on something specific, you can always catch someone, some spirit here, man, woman, animal, child. This is an amazingly active home. The most haunted place I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I haven't necessarily hit anything negative other than some dark shadows in photos, but they come, they go.
Now, have you, for all the times that you've been there, when you do your EVP work, are you connecting with different spirits, or is it a different spirit each time?
Each time it's different. I know that Sharon's been here over and over again because I do photograph her. J. Sebring, we have them. I felt him. He's very famous for touching women on their rear. And I don't believe it until it happens. And most definitely in Sharon's room to the left of me, I felt that one night, and I was the only one in there. And having no fear, it was rather odd. I had to laugh. So I know what I felt, and there was nobody there. So definitely they're here. You think of them, use the energy you have. They come, they like it here. Mm-hmm. But there are so many others of all kinds.
Do they ever give you any messages? Do they want help? Excuse me, they want help, or are they trying to? Or do they tell you anything about what has happened to them? Anything like that?
They do. A lot of different people who have come through here feel negativity. They feel what happened. Some cry, some leave not knowing what to think because they're horrible, gruesome murders. So you do pick up on a lot of the negative energy, but I like to also focus on where they are now, what they're doing, how, what's happening now, communicate from where they are. Mm-hmm. So to speak, I believe 2 years ago we were here and we had a seance and they are waiting for Charlie. That's all we know.
They're waiting for Charlie.
What will happen, they know what will happen. It's difficult to find out on that side everything, but knowing that something's going to happen when he passes, they'll more than likely show their faces and surprise him. So I don't know. But it would be nice as he goes, they are seen. Mm-hmm. Long story, it's just so gruesome and negative.
So has anybody ever come into David's home and say, I'm sorry, I just can't stay here and leave?
We have. We've had several friends do that. People that I had just met that have become friends. We had this one gentleman, Johnny, who's a producer. He ran out. He was crying. He was hysterical. He is sensitive. He felt everything that they were feeling. The stabbings, the panic, the horror, the feelings they must have gone through. So he left and he hasn't come back. People do that. I tend to like to block that. I don't like to deal with that. I come here with an open mind of let's communicate and try to block the fact that there's any negative spirits. Don't like to deal with that. But I've never had a problem. It's always been wonderful. And I do have Stefan Brigatti here, who is the founder of Pacific Coast Paranormal. And I would like to interview him. He's been here for years and has run quite a few scientific research little projects here and there with different equipment, and he's amazing.
Okay,
so
let's bring him on.
I'd like to introduce you to Stefan. This is Stefan.
Hey out there, kids. How you doing?
Hey, Stefan. Hi. Thanks for joining us. So would you give us and the viewers some information about the house and any interesting facts or great EVPs or anything that you've captured at the house?
Sure. Well, first of all, the house is built on kind of a vein of a natural ley line. The geological survey shows that there is a large quartz vein coming through here, and on top of it is a large amount of limestone. David's house is actually built with a lot of a certain mixture of certain kinds of steel that is embedded into the ground here as support. And all together, the entire house, the way it's structured, along with the ground itself, is like a natural battery charger, almost like a tower, absorbing and turning energy as we experience it through the house. At the top of the level of the house with the geomagnetometer, there's, I think, 20,000 milligauss plus. And then at the bottom, on the third floor we're staying now, it's like a 20,000 milligauss minus. So there is a natural vortex twisting through the house as we speak. And that's why a lot of the energies that are in this area are migrating to the house. We do know there was, besides the tragic history of what happened here with the Manson Murders itself, there was also a battle down the canyon here where there's actually a monument in the side of a park to an Indian battle. I guess it was the Indian and Spanish had a revolt in the canyon, and what seemed to be some type of massacre took place in this area. So a lot of that energy is embedded into the energy here as well, you know. So we're getting a lot of different types of energies and spirits roaming in this area. There's been other spirits that have been known in other locations that have come through here as well. A lot of psychics who walk through the house say they see Native Americans here as well as the victims themselves. So a lot of things are passing through this house. As far as experiences, all I can really point out are some of my own personal experiences. And
oh, I have a question in the chat room. They want to know. Butters wants to know if the other houses in the same location there, are they haunted as well?
We don't really know all the facts about it because of legal logistics. They really can't comment because they don't want to have anything to do with the paranormal because of their house and that stuff. So they don't really communicate with what's happening in this house, unfortunately. That would be great to know. But as far as the victims go, I think they might have been on the property and migrated this way, maybe trying to make contact along the way with the houses, and got to David's house. And David was a little more open, very receptive. He likes the things they like. They kind of went together, and he kind of invited them to come to his house, and that's why they're here with them all the time. They're very comfortable. We've had great experiences here over the years. And like I said, one of the things that I really brought to my attention was I saw a partial apparition pass me from the dining room as I was coming out of the kitchen in David's house, and it was I think it was Sharon Tate's birthday a few years ago. Oh. And I saw it with my own eyes, and it was the strangest thing. I had to really think about what I was looking at because what I was seeing wasn't really making a whole lot of sense naturally. But then I realized I'm looking at it looked like fiber, or not fiber, but a fabric of a woman's dress passing me going through the kitchen, which was incredible. Okay. And as far as the EVPs go, we were here last night, when I first started doing it, and it was my mother's birthday, and during the seance, somebody's picking up some conversations with a different spirit that wasn't related to the house, and they felt that it might be my mom, but it was her birthday, so we all kind of started saying happy birthday to her, and the K2 was going off, and then one of the tech guys here actually recorded an EVP of what sounds like her voice saying hello to everybody.
Awesome.
So for me, that's the cherry.
Okay, I have another question. That's awesome. Yeah. I have another question. When did now David's father is a very well known and well-to-do contractor. They purchased the property. And let me show you a picture of the property again. They purchased that property, and his father is, the father and David, I guess, built this house.
Yes.
And how long ago was that?
How long ago did you say that was?
In the 90...
Was it 11 years ago?
I believe 12.
About 11 or 12 years ago, because you just had an anniversary party at the house. I think it's about 11 years now.
And the viewers, as you can see, I have an arrow pointing to David's house, and then off to the side there were the X. Well, that was the location of Sharon Tate's home. As you can see, it's only like maybe 250 feet.
Yeah, it's real close. We can walk outside the garage and just turn left, and it's right there.
20 steps, 20 paces.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Very close.
Right. So no, the house wasn't moved there. There's 4 homes. I believe all 4 of those homes are. The land was all purchased after that land was sold. Correct?
Yeah, they sold off that whole driveway piece where they built these 4 houses.
Yeah. Oh God, there was
that
another
area Sharon's been seen walking up down the street there.
She was actually seen last night, a little bit after midnight, coming through the gate.
I was reading something about Charles Manson. We were talking about that the other night, about Manson. Was he actually on the property? Now, from what I understand, after he told the Manson family to go in and do the killings, that he actually went back into the house after they had committed the murders and moved Sharon's body. Now, do you know anything about that?
That is, I don't know if there's any facts to that, but that's what's speculated because I guess the body was, you could tell by the blood, unfortunately, on the ground being dragged a little bit.
I believe he also put ropes around their necks.
The whole point, he went back to make sure they did it right, and that was the whole thing. So.
And Stephen Parent. Now, I know he was driving up to the house. Now, what was his connection to Sharon Tate? Stephen Parent.
The story was he was going to visit the keeper of the house to sell a radio of some kind or to show him something, and he pulled in. And that's when they kind of snuck up on him and got past the gates.
They shot him. He was just in his car. He rolled down the window, and they just shot him point blank in the face. And I do have a photograph of him, and on the left side of the face, when looking at the photo, it's right. But when you put it together, on the left side of this boy's face, it's all black. So to me, that signifies a wound, a gunshot, and it's devastating because to have him appear that way rather than smiling and happy like a lot of spirits do, he's still very upset. You can tell he wants to be noticed. I believe he did want us to pass on some information to his family, which they'd be a lot older now, and we didn't quite go to that extent, but there is that communication line. He feels underrated. He wants to be thought of as much as the rest of them do.
Mm-hmm. They're also asking if there's any way. Now, I don't know if you've done this in the past when you have had the seances at the house. Have you tried to connect with Sharon and if she was able to be with her baby on the other side?
Absolutely. Stefan and I and Mark were together in the bathroom to the left of us, which is Sharon's room. I call it Sharon's bathroom because she's always appearing around here.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Mark, my mother's name is Sharon, my son's name is Roman, we have a little something in common. What happened to your child? In this photograph appeared Sharon along with her baby attached to the lower half of her face, and then when you turn the photo up correctly and separate the two, you could see it was a fully developed child skeleton with a red blood coming out of the side of its mouth. But the story goes, Mark had connected with her, and he said that the baby's name was going to be Paul after her father. He moved on into another life, but she did have this child for a while, which made me feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. She got to experience some time with him on the other side, and then they both moved on. So yes, there's pretty strong communication there, and with photographs to prove and validate Mark and myself. And Stefan's taken some fascinating photos himself throughout the years. Just amazing.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Stefan. Could you please continue your conversation about the house and what's been happening?
Well, like I said, there's a lot more than just them here. I mean, of course, we're here on this night to remember them and honor them and show them respect and, love for all their suffering and stuff. And I've been here so long and have had so many experiences. They're not just spirits; they're like friends because they've interacted with us and been so kind to us in so many ways. But there's also, like I said, a lot of Indian spirits roaming this land. David has a room called the Earth Room. It was exposed ground, and allegedly there is a chief of the tribe that was here that probably was one of the ones that was in the battle here, buried along with his horse, because we've had photographs of a horse appearing, and we all talked to the chief. He's a really big man. We've seen shadow figures of him in the past. We've heard lots of EVPs from him.
Now, these EVPs, were they coming through in English or in his native tongue?
They were coming through in English. A lot of people assume that a spirit is going to speak that language only, but when you're actually hearing it,
I heard
we actually
did you just hear something?
And they can, Yeah, of
In
course,
the earth
always.
room, there's always noises, but nobody's in this room
But
to the left of us. Sorry, go ahead.
one of the things is, we've done cases where you expect them to speak German or Italian or whatever, and they speak English as well.
Yeah.
It's not always one side, but they'll talk in multi-languages, but they'll speak English to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard him not so happy saying "get out" and stuff like that before during people doing the tours because they're disrespecting or whatever. I mean, these spirits are very open, and they interact, but if you come in here with a bad attitude or just disrespect them, you are going to have a bad experience. I've seen people run out of here freaked out before. I've seen people get touched and get all scared. You got to show a lot of respect, and you got to be have that kind of good attitude. Then they'll have fun with you and interact with you, and you'll have a much better time.
Now, has anybody ever tried to bless the land up there and try to clear it?
Not to the extent of trying to do a clearing or something like that.
I don't believe he wants the clearing. I think David he likes the company.
Oh, I'm not, but I'm not talking about David's home. I'm talking about all the land up there.
The land.
No, not to my knowledge at this point.
And the other people won't talk about it. Now, what about the big house at the end where Sharon's Tate's house was? They finally sold that house, huh?
Yeah, they've actually reconstructed the house up there, so it's not original anymore.
Oh yeah, no, it's a monstrosity.
Yes.
But they finally did sell. It's ugly too. I don't like it. It's too bad.
It's not a nice flat story that overlooked the valley like the other one before. It's really strange, but it's their property. I guess they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. So they finally sold it, and has David ever talked to those owners?
The other owners?
Yeah, the owners of that house.
No, not that I'm aware of. I know he might have met them at one point moving in, but I don't think they interact very often.
Oh.
That'd be great if they did. Then we can go up there and take pictures and do whatever we did.
That would be awesome. I would think that his house is haunted. I can't imagine that he would escape. Anything else?
They just kind of moved down here, hanging out with David.
Yeah.
You put out a lot of energy, and they come. They hear.
Yeah.
Are any of the spirits negative that are in the house? Or that come in contact
not
there?
with me so far.
Not with me.
Well, also, I forgot to mention on the second story, there's David's office, which has probably the largest Jack Johnson, the boxer, collection that I've ever seen in my life. He actually has some memorabilia which would belong to Jack Johnson. We get a lot of EVPs in that room from Jack Johnson.
Okay, who's Jack Johnson? I don't know who.
He was one of the world's greatest boxers back in
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was called the champ. And we've had EVPs of him talking about his moves and stuff, his new moves. So in a sense, he's still hanging out and he's still boxing and he's training. I actually got a photograph of what looks like a man in the dark hallway in the bathroom. It looks like he's kind of looking back, smiling at me recently. I think the last 2 or 3 times I was here, it was an incredible picture. But we know that he hangs out in that room a lot, and we get a lot of people going in there getting incredible EVPs. Mm-hmm. And there's also a little girl named Gwendolyn who's been hanging out here that's been seen a lot in the past, maybe 4 years or so.
So where does she come from?
We're not really sure, but she seems like a lot of people saying they see her and she's dressed kind of like in the 30s kind of clothing.
Pioneer type, yeah.
So when you get these EVPs, and you get these, you get these EVPs, and the next time that you do a session, do you try and find out where they're coming from or why they even come?
Yeah, those are common EVP control questions. Why are you here? How old are you? Yeah. What's your name? Did you know the people here? That kind of stuff.
And what was the answer?
Oh, well, for her, we didn't get a definite answer.
Oh.
We got a name, and then we hear her singing. And last night we heard her giggling a few times.
Oh, are you sure it was the same little girl?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
because when we said her name, the K2 meters and all the meters around the area would light up, and it would get freezing cold. And we actually had a millimeter where we were able to watch the temperature drop about a good 20 degrees.
Wow. So how much longer before they start the seance?
Probably going to be about an hour, maybe.
An hour?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Still giving his tour.
Yeah, last time I looked, he was still at the bar doing the whole thing.
Is there any chance David could break away just to come and talk to the viewers?
Possibly. You want to go get David?
Oh, go try that.
All right.
Have you been here before, Noreen?
No. It's a good 6-hour drive. I haven't
really?
been there. Yeah. My sister used to live in Whittier, and would be great if she still lived there, but she doesn't live there anymore, so there's no reason for us to go down that way anymore.
Oh, too bad. Well, it's an incredible house, and everybody who's come here has a great experience at one time or another. And it's funny because sometimes the ghosts will like play with you a little bit. A lot of the women here, they seem to be getting their hair pulled or poked. You know, one lady actually, the report is that she spent the night here and she woke up and part of her hair was braided. So we're kind of putting that off, saying it might be Jay because he was such an incredible hairdresser and maybe he's playing with their hair.
Yeah. Now somebody's asking a question. Would Sharon? They saying, well, would Sharon's spirit even know who Manson was? Well, from what I understand, Manson did come to the house, didn't talk to Sharon, but Sharon had seen him when he came to the door, and she asked, who was that creepy looking man? Now, is that true?
These are possibilities. Nobody really knows for sure about what happened because all that happened within a few days period, and only the people that really know what happened are the victims themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the owner, the original owner, I think his name was Robert Antebelli. He had told, because Manson came looking for Terry Melcher, and Antebelli told him that Melcher didn't live there anymore, and Sharon happened to be there. She was visiting. And that's when she saw Manson, but I'm not sure if Manson got a glimpse of her or not. So
they were out by the pool.
Pardon me?
They were, I believe that at that particular time, they were out by the pool when he came. And then that's when he was told to get off the property, and he got upset to begin with, Manson.
And then I also understand that, now the rumor has it that Manson sent the family there to kill the people in the house, but supposedly he was looking for Terry Melcher, who was Doris Day's son, because Melcher had one time told him that he would produce his music and then decided against it. And so, and that's why supposedly Manson targeted that house. But then another story was that he knew that Melcher didn't live there anymore, but he figured that somebody, some celebrity, high celebrity, would be living there, and that's why they targeted that house. What do you know about that?
Well, like I said, there's a couple of different stories on how it came about. I do believe the story is that he went there looking for him, and that somebody told him that they didn't live there anymore, and that's when he saw, Sharon and whoever was there at the time. So he just kind of went through with his original plan anyway, which was,
just to kill whoever was there.
Yeah, to strike back, to show, what he can do and how powerful he was, which was just a huge cop-out, basically. Yeah. But as far as Sharon knowing Charlie Manson, I mean, she knows that he's linked to all this that happened, and definitely. I'm sure she knows. Now, it's funny because we had talked about this on a show I did last week. My friend wrote a book about Manson behind bars, and Manson actually didn't do
the murders, and he is labeled a serial killer, but because he was the one behind the killing, he's been labeled a serial killer.
Yeah, he's become the poster child for serial killers, but his crime and why he's behind bars is not because he murdered anybody. His crime was conspiring to commit murder and the ability to brainwash and control people and make them do things.
Right.
So he's got a huge conspiracy thing. So that's why he keeps coming up for parole. You know, most murderers don't have parole options, and they keep saying he's up for parole, but they know he's so unstable, so far gone that he'll never go anywhere.
Oh no!
And a lot of rumor is that he doesn't really want to get out anyway, because with the new Manson family, who was still active, I heard that the story is whoever kills Manson, if he ever gets out, would be able to become the new leader.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and that person.
So,
yeah. No, that'll never happen.
He'll never get out. He's got a place to sleep every night, and he gets 3 square meals a day.
Yeah.
We recently, Stefan and our crew went down to Spawn Ranch and took about a 6-mile hike.
Brutal.
All over. It's had such amazing history with a lady named Meg who knew everything. So we went down to where they lived. We found out why they didn't want to, the producers didn't want to film anymore. So many bits and pieces of information that were incredible, even as far as them having so many babies there, not dressing them, they couldn't feed them, they died, they buried them right there.
Oh my God.
People, Simi Valley would have seen them and then seen the girls later, where's your baby? I don't have her anymore. Well, they couldn't feed them, there's nothing they could do. One story was that Charlie was walking around with his coat on a winter day, nice and warm, and all the babies were placed on the porch, naked, freezing. He thought that would toughen them up. So, just goes to show you his mind.
Yeah.
So, no matter what, everything was negative wherever you went around there. They apparently defecated. That's why they did all over the place. They were very filthy. Therefore, anyone coming into that property didn't want to film. It was a mess. So quite a few, they used to film quite a few shows down there. Was it Little Joe?
No, Bonanza.
Yes, that's one of the...
Yeah, it was a western town. Yeah, so Spawn Ranch was a movie set, and it was all in western settings. And then when I saw pictures of it, it went in. God, it just went into shambles. And the Manson family were using that as what, a hideout? They were hiding out there.
They were pretty much hiding out there, and they were free labor for the ranchers because they would deal with the horse rentals and taking care of all the chores around the ranches. Mm-hmm. So that's how that got all started.
Now Atkins did Atkins die of cancer recently? That was her that died, right?
Yeah.
Sharon,
Yeah.
I believe she did. Susan.
Yeah. Yes, Susan Atkins, and I believe even just before she died, I don't believe she had any remorse. She was the one that stabbed Sharon, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had no remorse.
Okay, well, I mean, we're talking about crazy people, so they're not in touch with their feelings anyway. If you were a normal person with feelings, you would realize I've done something terrible.
Stefan, move into the camera. Move into the camera. Stefan, move into the camera.
See me now?
Yeah, I can see you now.
All right. Hey.
Yeah, apparently upon stabbing over and over, she would say, I couldn't do it, the bones were in the way. I kept stabbing, but the bones were in the way.
Yeah, that's not good mentality right there. I mean, really?
And Sharon was pleading for her life, but she said, bitch, I have no sympathy for you. Were those her words?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I read.
But,
Policeman that was there.
Like we said, those facts are only known by the victims themselves. We can only assume and speculate what they said.
And now, what's up with Tex Watson? He's still incarcerated.
Yeah, that guy.
He's really so.
Somebody who can really focus in on some of those feelings and some of the sayings is Mark Nelson, who's a good friend over here. See Mark? You see Mark?
Oh, hi, Mark. Welcome back, Mark.
So I'm gonna let these guys take over.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some cold water and let Mark tell some stories.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Do you feel anything this evening?
This evening, actually, I felt more of a sense of Abigail Folger's spirit here. I got this sense. Barbara and I took a moment to go away. We found a little quiet corner of the house where we've experienced activity before. And when we were there, we heard, I kept getting the sense that Abigail Folger is here. I felt like Sharon was here. But I also feel like that the spirits are the victims of this horrible, horrendous crime are moving into other incarnations. So I don't think that they're just staying here. I mean, I do think, in my opinion, my experience is that you can move into your spirit, your consciousness can move into another incarnation, but there can be a residual energy of you here too. We're not just, one body can only be in one place when we're in spirit. I think that it's possible for spirit to be in more than one place.
I agree, and feeding this residual energy stirs it up.
Yeah, I think so. And sometimes, with all the people in activity here, some spirit, I think, is happy to step forward and likes it. Think about people. You go to a big party, some are extroverts, some are introverts. Mm-hmm. Some people will stay in the corner, don't want to be bothered. Others want to dance on the table and have everyone look at them. I don't think that stops when you're in spirit, A certain essence of who you are never goes away. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully there will be some activity tonight. You'll get some cool stuff. I think some spirits may say, hey, there's too many people, and just stay against the walls and lay low. So you just never know.
Yeah.
But with all of the people looking tonight, there is the potential for somebody to catch some really good stuff. And I do absolutely believe this is an active place. So
now, how are you guys doing EVP work with all those people?
It's tough. I mean, you have to really find a corner of the room where something where your sound isn't being messed up. There isn't sound contamination, and it is difficult. Although people tonight appear to be pretty well behaved, you have a lot of people trooping around, but I'm not hearing a lot of chitter chatter, and that helps if you really want to do anything serious.
And they're here to learn and investigate. Yeah, that's great. It's a good group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, footfalls at work. That say no, but I mean. We really have on quiet nights heard footsteps, like Barbara was saying. It's like right over walking. It's like there's no dog that big. There's no dog. The dogs are locked up. That's right. Just there. And I still, one of the things that we've seen before, Barbara and I in person, I think you have too, when these little figurines, David has them, I've jumped up and down to try to make them fall over. Right. You walk away and they go, bang, hey, I was just testing you,
Right.
So it's really like the ghosts here, the spirits that do show up, I think have a playful edge to them.
Right, exactly, I agree.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to let this fall while you're trying to make it fall, but as soon as you go away, bam,
Has any of the figurines fallen down tonight? Anything else anything happening?
Not since I've been here, but I'm on the third floor below, and I'm not sure they're up above.
What part? What, we heard another voice?
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. What was that?
That is Fresh EVP Live.
You mean, it sounded like somebody was in the room with you.
Can you hear it now, still?
You're Jacob.
No.
My hand. I'm going to scratch my back.
Where's that coming from?
Jay wants his back scratched.
That is not
Where's that coming from? Uh-oh, you guys froze. Come on, no. Hey, you guys froze up.
Oh.
Okay, that's
video.
Okay. Where's that coming from?
Steve.
Things you're asking the computers to do, they don't work like that.
Can you go?
And so we got him and me to deal with her on that.
Please. He's got the living room corner. He's walking in the room. He may be outside down below. There's a lot of wiring
Yes.
that it had taken to, just because we're so high up in Benedict Canyon. So it's amazing, the tech crew here.
Well, you were questioning the sound contamination, and now you have your answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys to do some EVPs to see if you could capture anything and playing back for the viewers.
We will be doing that this evening.
There's a lot of people looking to collect stuff, so I'm sure you'll find something interesting.
Absolutely. We always do.
Yep.
Every time we come here, it feels really great that I can validate what you say through photography and to combine the two to match them together so perfectly. I love that.
Well, I got to speak just real quickly to, I'm going to run, but Tara has done some of the most cool, interesting spirit photography, where she captures stuff that you just don't see in other places. She really has a gift for that.
Yeah.
And so, hey, Tara, so where can they find some of your fabulous photography?
Right on Facebook.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. That was
Our Pacific Coast Paranormal Facebook official fan page. That's what it is, yes.
You really do. She does capture stuff that's very cool.
Yeah.
So that, I think we're going to say, I'm going to wander away. Tara, thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Enjoy your marathon tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we will. All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I do have a lovely young lady who's grown up in my eyes, and her name is Sophia Temporelli. She has been in this home for years and has experienced a great deal. She's done many interviews and has a lot of experience and knows what goes on here. Would you like to come on in? She's psychic. She's got some wonderful...
She actually interviewed my dad and I was calling in the background. I avoid the camera.
So this is Sophia.
Yeah, hi, Sophia. I met you over Skype. Oh gosh, maybe 3 or so years ago. I had your dad on my show.
Yeah, I had to bring something to him, and I was trying to hide from the camera, so I was crawling on the floor, but everyone saw the door.
Yes, yeah.
That's not sneaky.
Nice to see you again. What would you... is that David? I'd like to interview David, if he's available.
Oh, okay.
They're just coming down.
Okay. David is leading his tour right now.
Oh.
He's going to be on this floor.
This is the,
so you may not be able to hear very well. Would you like just listen?
Okay. All right, we can listen to the tour. Okay. You froze up.
If we have an opportunity.
It's not him. It's to us now.
So there's no way you can hear him.
Oh, well, we must be picking up some kind of sound from somewhere else because it isn't any of our tech crew. I hear it, but it's not within our home, or the home.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. It sounds like that, but
it's not, yeah.
I hear him.
So,
Here's. Can you hear this feedback?
I hear somebody else talking.
He doesn't believe me, so I'm not going back up there.
We sent people down there. Apparently, it's not from where we are within the house, on any floor in the garage. It is where everything's set up. So I know that we've just sent a couple of people down there, and it's not them.
Not different, but it has its own.
It's amazing. We'll have to work on that. Here's David. He's short.
I was talking to him from the Christmas store. This is my Christmas friends was found with him, and he died. Okay, so you can come in. Come on.
Live on
It's okay. Come on.
Oh, see.
Okay, that they came down the stairs. Right. So the say was, this is it. I'm going to take 4 at a time into the earthen wall so you guys can see and feel that. Good. Next time. Well, thank God. That's not more concerned about the fat type of water. In any event, you again.
you sent me down here.
I sent you to a lot of things, but you only did one, which is come down. I said, to be here with this. Hi!
Hey, this is David Oman.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, hey, David, thank you. Okay, we'll listen to your spiel, and then can you come and talk with me?
After I go take the people upstairs and let them run their shtick, so to speak.
Okay, so go ahead and do your spiel. We want to hear you.
So I was just saying, I want to take forward time into the earthen ballroom, because I know you guys want to see that. It's a little crowded and congested. We have more than 4. You don't count. You 2 and you 2. Because you've been here. You're cutting the way. All right.
This is
There,
our
right there.
other home.
You guys come on here.
Okay. You count. We love you so.
Hey, Tara, honey, if David's going to speak, can he speak by the computer and the audio there, because the viewers want to hear his tour.
They're in another room where I can't bring the computer.
He went. I thought he was going to be in that room.
He's in a room to the left of me.
Oh, okay.
In a different room.
So these people that are in the room now, are you getting ready for the seance with them?
I'm not sure who the chosen few are.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to gather quite a few. More than likely, I'm sure Sophia will be there as well around the table. I brought a few items to use while we're sitting there trying to connect a very lightweight ball. And did you have your dowsing rods?
I am not entirely sure if my parents brought those.
Okay.
They may have. Not sure.
Well, come on in.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us some of your experiences there.
Well, I have seen the Beetlejuice knock over, and there's just a lot of experiences. Like, it's just, we've gotten some great EVP here, just too many to mention, and it's just a really great active place. That's what I would say. It's just so much stuff.
I've got a picture with Sophia and Stefan in one room. Actually, it's on the third, it's on this floor. She's walking through with her dowsing rods, and Stefan's just kind of standing there looking around, but in the corner, there's a full spirit, a full-bodied, tall person, a male, and you can see it clearly. And it's amazing, because really all you have to do is just either, crop the photo. You don't have to touch it, mess with it, enhance it. It's right there. He's peeking around a corner where there's nowhere to hide. So you could see that he's just kind of, it's in the corner to the left of me, which I don't want to move the camera, but there's nowhere to hide there. And you can see him just kind of slightly, it's very slim, just looking at everybody.
Wow.
There's never a time where I haven't taken pictures here and got spirits of all kinds. Children, people of all ages.
Interesting.
And many times Sharon, she's been here, Jay, Stephen, Abigail. I have Abigail's photo, which was nice to hear that Mark said she was here, that Sharon's here. So I think they appreciate the energy given towards them in a positive way, and not really dwelling on the negative.
No.
So to know they passed on and went into other lives is wonderful to hear.
Yeah. You're wow, every once in a while your computer freezes up. Now, do you try and validate in any way that you are communicating with Sharon Tate?
Absolutely. When Mark is speaking and I'm asking a certain question, as a, for instance, I asked Sharon, what happened to your baby? I have 4 children. I wanted to know what happened on the other side. And she did say she was with him for a while and he went into another life. But upon Mark talking there, that very moment is when I got that photograph of her and her baby. So she came through to show me he's there, knowing that his name, she wanted to name him Paul after her father. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they did, if they buried him with her. I don't know what happened there.
I actually got the name Paul on the Ghost Radar app when I was here.
You did?
Yeah.
Her baby, her son.
Now, if this is going to be the last event that David has at the house, will he continue to try and make contact with the spirits that are there, even though he's not going to have these groups there anymore?
Every day, always, yes. He brings a lot of positive energy to them in a good way. He enjoys the communication, enjoys different psychics coming over, Alma Carey, Mark Nelson, and many others. And, they enjoy the opportunity to come in and speak and connect as well. But I do know he has a really good connection with Sharon. So she talks to him, he talks to her. He feeds that energy. He puts it out there, so therefore it comes back. And I know he enjoys that. So he'll be doing this every day, all day. It's the home. Things move, he hears things, and it's just living in this completely active house, dealing with that every day, particularly during the evening. It'll never stop. It's somewhat entertaining to him, I believe. He likes it.
Now,
You would say he really tries to communicate. It just happens. He doesn't really try. It's just there.
What was David's first experience with the spirits there? I read something about it. He got scared to death. What was his first experience?
I believe that was upon building his home. He had workers come in, and they would start something, and they would see a spirit, so they would leave, and whatever they had started was incomplete and messed up the next day. I know that is when tools were missing, things were moved. That, I believe, when he was building his home is when he first started to interact with
Wasn't
spirit.
there an incident he woke up and there was something standing at the end of his bed?
I've heard that, yes. I'm sure quite often he has that. We were on the phone the other day, and we were talking about Sharon. He was in her room to the left of me, and right when I said her name, he saw flashes of light. And I 100% believe him, because we're all here to experience this. It happens. It's very real.
Now,
documented. It's incredible.
Now, you have Abigail, J.C. Berg, and Sharon. Now, what about the other two? Stephen Perrin and, the other fella. He's got starts with a V or a W.
Wojtek or...
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. Have they shown up as well on the property?
I have a photograph of Amanda, which is, I had to go up on the internet and look up her picture. But isn't down, and she's here all the time. Mark did say she was here. He felt her here this evening. So they pop in and out. I'm sure they come in and visit too.
Is that Abigail?
Probably because they're all there.
Is that Abigail? It's Abigail Folger?
Folgers. The Folgers coffee. She was here to the Folgers. Yes.
But what about Stephen Parent? What about him?
Stephen was young. I find he wasn't recognized like everybody else. He's not dwelled upon like everybody else. I honestly feel he wants more recognition. And I know through the photograph that I had that literally 90% of my spirits come in with smiles. What he showed me was the blackened area, which I had to go look up. It was on the left side because they shot him through the window.
Yeah.
So I do have a photograph of him that matches, but it has the blackened place where he was shot.
But now, Tara,
he does come through.
In the paranormal field, though, when a spirit is kept alive by memory, talking about them, don't you believe that that's why a spirit would be more active in a location? And if Stephen Parent isn't talked about, maybe that's why he doesn't come through like the other spirits.
I've just been bringing that up myself. We have a gentleman here, Steve, who I'd like to have him tell his story. We did get together on this about 2 weeks ago. I was explaining to him about the photograph that I had taken. So he went on to go investigate with a friend down here, and apparently came out and his face was burning. He felt pain on the left side of his face. Is that correct?
Oh no, my eye. Yeah.
Or in his eye. So being that it was on that right side or the left side.
Oh, interesting. Does he want to tell his story?
I believe so. And that, would you like to see? Not yet. But I do know Stephen definitely is recognized. I recognize him, and I know he's not spoken of much. There's not as much publicity out there, articles. This is Steve.
Oh, hey, Steve, come on, get in the camera. Big, tall guy. Yeah. Awesome. Scoot down a little. Yeah, tell the viewers your story. We want to hear it.
Which story? Okay, well, it's interesting about Stephen Parent. He was in the wrong place, wrong time. He shouldn't even have been there. He was a victim. I mean, they all were victims that shouldn't have suffered the fate that they did. But if anyone was beyond the unborn child, in the wrong place at the wrong time, well, let's just leave it at that. It was Stephen Parent. And we've had several instances where his name's come up for whatever reason. Lilia, I don't know if she's down here tonight. She was in the adjacent room here. There's a bedroom over to my left, or stage left, I would guess it would be from where you're looking at. And she walked into that bathroom and she heard someone say, Stephen. And she came and brought it to me. She didn't, extrapolate that this could be regarding that particular victim. And he's come up several times, but let me finish that. She told me about it, and I thought about it later. I'm like, well, if it said Stephen, it could be talking about Stephen Parent. Well, last night as we did the seance here in the room, here, right behind us here, when his name came up, the K2 meters all started lighting up. Now, in this house, I don't know if anyone's explained this yet, there's no stray energy. There's no stray electricity. I've gone point to point in this house and measured, documented. There's no leakage. This is a well-built house. So to get anomalous strikes on K2 meters when you've never had them before is really something to pay attention to. It's really something that does capture your attention. And Stephen Parent, as David Oman will tell you, was the name that came up. And I don't know if you talked to David yet?
Not yet.
So I don't want to fill up too much of your time with that, but Stephen Parent does figure in because, he's largely forgotten. People talk about Sharon Tate, and it's all tragic. Every one of them, it's all bad. Every one of them that died, bad. Okay? Sharon Tate, well recognized. Her name's known very well. Jay Sebring, not as much, but still. Abigail Folger, heiress, but not really well known beyond that. Wojciech Frykowski, unknown, but because of his association with the other people, well known. Stephen Parent, not known. 18-year-old kid, just getting out of high school, just starting his life. He's selling the caretaker. He's trying to sell him a clock radio. That's his only reason for dying. He was trying to sell a piece of equipment to this guy. Had he not been there, he'd still be alive today, probably.
Exactly. Well, since he died tragically, and it happened so fast, where the others knew it probably was coming, but it happened with him so fast. Now, that's really a case where a spirit probably would be up kind of in limbo because it wasn't really expected. I mean, it just happened so fast. So does he say anything? Like, he doesn't realize he's dead, perhaps?
No, the communication we had, he knows he's passed on, but he just wants recognition. He wanted us to tell his family that he's okay, is what he was trying to relate to us, exactly. And we just didn't take the time to go and do that, which I can research and actually do that for him, because that's part of why I do this. I like to help both sides.
Mm-hmm. Now, really quick, Noreen, this is Lilia.
Oh, hi.
I'm Lilia Willis, and I've been here several times, and I have no idea of the names of the people that was actually murdered, and it was quite interesting to me that Stephen came, that I heard that name, and I went to Stephen, I said, they're calling you.
That's the instance, I was talking about.
And it was right after when we started to ask questions, I felt like somebody was pulling my hair, and I had no idea also that he was into hairstyling too.
Well,
but anyway.
Oh, he
But-
probably he probably wants to play with your hair. Yeah. And so, how many times have you been at the house?
About 7 times or so.
Oh, wow. Now, are you sensitive in any way or psychic?
I could say that I'm sensitive because I feel or see things that other people might not experience. Yes.
Do you pick up any sadness in the house at all?
Well, just tonight, something that was out of the ordinary. When I was driving up, I saw a woman standing there, and she was serious, like just looking at my car, and I'm thinking it's one of the house is busy tonight, so I thought it was one of the ladies who was visiting. Well, as I'm driving up, she just suddenly vanishes.
Sharon's been seen
Yeah.
like that, yes.
Right, and it was she was wearing a light, like an earth colored dress, not white like some people says. Oh, Sharon was wearing a white nightgown. No, this person, I thought it was somebody here, really, and no, but tonight the vibe here, it's different. Every time I come here, I experience something different. The feeling is different. Tonight, particularly, I'm expecting to make some kind of connection because of what I priorly experienced. It just kind of like it's a sign I am going to hear or find something tonight. It's an adventure. I love it.
Do you think perhaps it's because it's the 45th year anniversary of the murders?
I think so. I definitely believe that this house is connected with those energies. Like I said, when I first got here, I had no idea exactly of the history of things, and little by little, through what I was sharing and what I read in regard to the house, I realized, this is it. This is real.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Have you been involved in any of the seances in the house before?
No, this is going to be my first experience. I've been involved in different activities like that type of stuff, sensitive readings, and I had interviewed people who want to communicate with the souls that have passed away or family who have passed away. But tonight will be my first experience in this house, sure.
Okay.
And you're going to be hosting it, right?
Yes.
So it'll be fun.
Now, how much longer before the seance? I could end this show and then restart it for the seance.
That may be a good idea. I will go and work with David and get everybody together. And then as everyone is approaching, sitting down, and kind of when it's a little more quiet, I'll call you back.
Okay. Any chance that he could just slip away from it and just talk to the viewers for about 5 minutes?
Let me see right where he is.
Let's say goodbye, Norina. Nice meeting you.
Oh, nice meeting you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how about if I break away? I don't know. It might be another half hour or so before they start the seance, and I'll just start another event for the live seance because I want to see it. What do you think?
That sounds wonderful, Noreen. He is busy still giving his tour and can't quite break away right now, but we should get this together quickly, and then we can call you right back.
All right. How much longer do you think this before the seance starts so I can start another?
I'd say half hour, 40 minutes at the most.
Okay. All right.
We can come back in about a half hour, 45 hour if you like, and interview some more people until we're ready to go.
Well, what time did you actually have the seance planned? At 12 o'clock?
Well, it doesn't really matter. When he's ready and done with the tour. So, what time is it right now?
It's 10:44.
Okay, so yeah, probably by around that. Around 12, around midnight. That's when it happened.
Okay. All right. Then, how about guys? How about if I end the show and then we'll come back for the seance?
Okay.
All right. Well, Tara, thanks.
Welcome.
Do you want to call me on the phone or you just want to call me on Skype?
I'll call you straight on Skype. It seemed that would just...
all right. Then I'll set this up for 12 o'clock. Now, suppose you start before 12. See, that's the problem. I have to set this up.
Check your messenger. Is that okay that way?
Well, no, that won't work.
Do our messenger?
Okay,
Or,
I'll set it up for an hour from now, say 11:30. But if you start before then, just let me know. Do you think you'll be before 12? I mean, honestly.
With David, do you think we'll be doing the seance around midnight?
I have, but right now I'm just trying to find things, pick people out.
That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in there?
No, he had 7 out here. That was David.
Around midnight. Not before. We'll get in touch.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Bye.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Come on back, I'll see you there tomorrow.
Boom, you did it.
You want to see some come on with me?
Okay. So I'll end this, and then I'll start another event for about an hour. Yeah, I want to see the chat. I'm gonna tape it. So I don't know if you guys want to come back. I got to end this, otherwise it'll be. I mean, it's already an hour and 20 minutes, so I need to end this. And I'll just start another event. I guess, let's see. About an hour. How about 11:45? So if you want to come back, will you all know, just go back to my channel, Paranormal Zone TV web series, go back to that, and you'll see the live event up there. I'll start a live event, and I can always keep forwarding it. They'll probably be closer to midnight. I think that's when they usually do them. So if you want to come back and join me, because I am going to do this live. I want to see the seance. I'm waiting for that. So everybody, thanks so much for joining me tonight. Hope to see you back in about an hour, and don't forget, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And also Sunday I have another live show. Nathan Couch is going to be my guest again, and we're going to talk about some American monsters and something very mysterious called man mounds, which I've never even heard of before, but he's going to talk about that. So thank you so much. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. I'm glad I was able to have the chat up, and I'll see you in about an hour. Don't forget, go back on my channel and look for the live event for the seance. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night. Thanks.